Alright guys, in today's video we have a bunch of these exotic entertainers complaining that men are no longer in the clubs supporting their careers. Ooh, boo-hoo. Let's just go ahead and jump into it and see what they are saying.
Like, I took off my clothes today for $4.
Money is nice, but you give so much to do it.
You are not going to make $1,000 every single day.
Struggling making money because the club is so dead. So if you didn't make $300, you made negative money. I've had to battle in every other dancer I know.
Never say a market crash is guaranteed because the strip clubs are suddenly empty.
Man that provides for a stripper, there's a stupidity in that.
$120 for a 7-hour shift?
Yes, I ran out of all my money. No, I don't have savings.
Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. So with the emergence of OF and all these subscription-based platforms, it's an easier, more affordable, cheaper way to see things bounce around, right? You get your entertainment, all right? It's right there in your face. Do you really have to go to a club and spend money on overpriced Budweiser, Bud Light, all right, overpriced well drinks? You have to pay admission in a lot of places. There's a drink minimum, okay? You can't do this, you can't do that, you gotta wear this, you gotta wear that. And I get it, you're supposed to be out for the experience, the in-person atmosphere, the ambiance. But is it really worth it, dude? You really have to come out your pocket almost $100 before you even attempt to step into the door, damn near. So I don't know. Let's just keep listening.
So basically, it's not all sunshine and rainbows over here. I spend a lot of time on this account glorifying my job and talking about how much I love being a dancer, but I thought I would make a video kind of pointing out some of the cons because I, in no way, shape, or form, want these young people to look up to me that follow me on this account and think that it's all sunshine and rainbows over here. Number one, which is also a pro, but in a lot of ways can be a con, is the money. The money in this industry is extremely inconsistent. You never know what you're gonna make day to day, week to week, month to month, or even yearly. And so that can be really hard for a lot of people to budget or fall back onto. And then you realize you're not making the same that you were before. There's been times when I've made thousands of dollars in one night, and then the next night I literally make $0. And so that inconsistency can be really, really hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's called, you're pretty much hustling at this point, and it can be addiction. And then it gets to a point where you start selling more than just lap dances.
We agree.
Financial instability. Yes, there are some girls who work at these clubs in these bigger cities who will walk out with 10 grand in a night. I've also seen girls walk out with $10 in a night. You can't really plan for things, and I know that this made me, especially with my credit, really hard, getting things like a car, a house, etc.
To all the girlies who want to be a dancer so bad, don't do it. This is not your sign. Any video you see, this is not your sign. You know how rare it is to get a club that's like consistent like that? It's very hard. It's not very easy. I worked and I only made $4. 2 girls out of all the girls I worked today made over 100 today. Like, I took off my clothes today for $4. Do you really think that's worth it?
We gotta peel that onion back just a little bit. If some other girls have made more than you that night and you only made $4, what does that have to say about you? Maybe you are in the wrong career, you know? Maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe it's how you look. Maybe it's how you care. Maybe you are bad at what you do. Have you thought about that?
No! Don't say this is my sign. It's not. I promise. Stay to your office 9-to-5 job. You guaranteed money. Me not.
Let me tell y'all something. These girls are glorifying being a dancer, but there are a lot of negatives to it. I was a dancer for 5 years at the age of like 17 all the way to like 23. More of the story, yes, you make money, but it comes with other things. Please be careful out here.
I see a lot of girls on here romanticizing, but I want to give you the very raw truth of what it's like.
This may have been one of the hardest weeks, and that's what you see the newer dancers do, is flex the money, show the money, count the money. But let's talk about what you don't hear about. This is a very dangerous job, and this is what I mean when I say not everyone can do this job. The money is nice, but you give so much to do it. And now I just want to show you the new bruises I got this week.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So you have bruises because of what? The bumping and the grinding? When you got real career, hard working, individuals out there carrying hard equipment, operating heavy machinery. I mean, damn near losing fingers and digits and all kind of stuff, hurting their back, have legit reasons to cry about it, but you're over here just doing the bare minimum, shaking the bare minimum, working the bare minimum, and you're gonna complain about a little bitty bruise and still get paid for getting it. Yeah, all right.
Negative side of being a here we go. So surprisingly, I'd say number one is the money. I know you're gonna think like, what does she mean? The money is good. Yes, the money can be good, but then sometimes it's not good. There's nights you can make 1,000, 2,000, and then there's nights you make nothing. So every single night you are dealing with like a roller coaster of emotion, like, oh my God, am I gonna be able to afford this? Am I gonna be able to afford that? Or like, imagine if it's a really bad month or whatever. So you're always stressing about money. So yeah, money can be really good, but you constantly stressing and think like, oh, it's never enough, because then you've got things like a pandemic hitting you, and then you're like, oh my God, what?
What's up, y'all? So I've been getting a lot of messages from ladies saying, can you please share some more videos? And one thing about it, I want to work on being more transparent and vocal about this, because I notice a lot of people get on this app and only share the glamorized aspects of being a dancer. They don't really get into it, and it can be very misleading for people who's trying to get into the industry. So I'm going to tell y'all the ugly truths of being a dancer. First things first, you are not going to make $1,000 every single day. You are not going to make a bag every single day. Please get that out of your head immediately. Exit out. It really be like that, to where there'll be 70 girls in the club and only 8 customers come in throughout the entire night. It really be like that sometimes, to where you have to stay down till you come up, and I'm left with as $13. It really be like that some nights, to where you're struggling to make $100. It is what it is.
You know, at least they're telling some of the negative sides of stuff that's going on, but we can only always have probably imagined that it's not rainbows, kitties, and butterflies at every single shift that you work. It can't all, everybody, every 40, 50, 60 girls in the club can't walk out with $1,000 each. It's not like that, dude. I can't believe, I wouldn't believe that's possible. And then you're stuck there the whole night. So you're still there doing this. So like, the bulk of your money might come on one day a week, but you're working and grinding these other days of the week. Why not just get a regular damn job? That way you can show proof of income and all these other things. Unless you really just super gifted. You know, you got blessed with some extra landscape. So, you know, a little bit more real estate than the normal woman. Maybe.
Wow. Like, and I'm struggling making money because the club is so dead. It's so dead. A realistic money count as a in 2024. 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40. That's it. That's always it. Where are the $500 days? What happened to that?
Well, I'll tell you. Reasons why you should not be a especially with the progression of TikTok. It is so easy to just look at all these videos and see all these girls making all this money and be like, oh my God, why am I not doing this? It's not that they're lying or that these things aren't actually happening to people who dance, but it kind of glamorizes and brushes over the bad parts of it. So let's get into it. First of all, dancing is not for everyone, and it's not for anyone forever. There will come a point where you physically can no longer do it. You are going to get old, your ankles are going to give out, will most likely develop knee
We didn't even get to the part where your back is blown out. I mean, you're so old it doesn't even make sense. All right, you're getting beat out by these younger females that are walking in there, man. Like, how is this something long term? If you think about turning this into a career or something long term, women, you got this misconstrued. You got this really out the long term thinking. You're in delusion at this point. You really are in delusion at this point. How can this be everlasting? It's not. It's almost just like they're gonna draft a new running back and replace those old legs with her, or yeah, his fresh legs. It happens.
So I just found out, like, a lot of people don't know that strippers pay to work. So basically you go in and, like, depending what shift you work, what club you're at, the rate is different. My home club was really, really low compared to every other club I ever been to. There was a couple like go-go bars I danced at in Jersey, and their house fees were crazy, but it was after 7. So if you got there at 7 p.m., which is way too early, if you're trying to stay till 2 a.m., then you only had to pay $25, I think. And then like after 7, it just kept getting higher. So if you came at like 10, your house fee is almost like $100, if not over $100, depending on the day. Miami's house fees are ridiculous. It's like $300 after tip out and house fee that you are spending just to have work. So if you didn't make $300, you made negative money and nobody cares.
Second point is going to be about bad days. Like, yes, you see girls on TikTok and YouTube taking home thousands of dollars a day. And that's fantastic. It feels amazing when you do. But it makes those bad days feel even worse. Because there's going to be days you take home $50, $0. The club is slow. Everyone's making you mad. It's hard to realize how much that takes a toll on your mental health. When you have these amazing days and then you have these horrible days, I think it makes your self-worth very tied to like income and tangible items. And it's a really unhealthy cycle that I've had to battle, and every other dancer I know has also had to battle, because it looks really flashy and glamorous. But like I said, this job will make or break you, so choose your battles wisely.
Get a job.
I just don't understand. Like, you do have the option to move. You know, the world is big enough for you to go around, earn an education, all right? Apply that at some sort of career, all right? Or choose a career path other than something that's temporary as that. You can even be a damn bartender or waiter at some point and still make you know, money that's actually not as frowned upon. You get what I'm saying? You're not being a dancer, you know? Like, how do you go, like, as a manager of venues, I've seen and interviewed previous dancers or current dancers where they're actually trying to get out of the game and find something steady, and I'm like, hey, this is probably not enough money for you. You're probably going to start thinking that I could make this in one night, so you're probably not going to stay here long enough. 2, you don't have any prior experience. What I'm supposed to do? You've been on the move. You've been at 5 cities and 5 states in the last 3 years. How can I trust you? You know, those are the type of things that's gonna come up in conversations when you're trying to find a real job.
Since TikTok is very much glamorizing the dancing scene right now, I feel like it's really important that I go over the dangers of the job.
$120 for a 7-hour shift? Yikes.
Okay, so yep, it was about 7.5 hours. $10 difference with the food, but if that $10 would have been added to the money that I made that day, this would have been a little bit higher, but that's still, let's just say, like $18 an hour. And $18 an hour isn't terrible. This video wasn't to say, hey, you're going to make $300 every night, you're going to get rich, this is a get rich quick scheme, because it's not. They think that all this money is in that industry and they're going to make so much money, but little do they tell these girls that literally their self-respect goes down the drain. You really start to hate yourself, and your mental health just goes down the drain along with everything else.
So these guys, y'all out here working normal stuff, but at the risk of just jeopardizing your whole work history. You're jeopardizing your work history. You're jeopardizing your mental health. All for what? All because you want to shake some funds? Like, dog, that money can't be that cold. And I can see why y'all complaining. Men have awoken. We have awoken. We're not going there spending money. Shit is just high, man. Eggs, milk, bread, but basic stuff, gas. Golly, like, you really can't afford all these type of things. A lot of people are out there. I was a part of that middle class working group that worked 50, 55 hours a week, 60 sometimes, and as soon as I got off, had to go cut grass or do DoorDash just to make ends meet. Things get tough out there. Things really get tough out there, and I get it, but you're doing the same thing. I just don't get it. It doesn't seem worth it.
How do I know this? You got girls in here that are literally having to do extras, go in the back, you feel me, to make their money, because they're not really just getting it from talk game and being on stage and being able to really do tricks and dance and have a good clientele in that aspect. They have to go and offer extras to everybody that walk in the club. And now if that's something that's up your alley and you feel comfortable with doing that, go ahead and take your That's a true club, by all means. You feel me? I'm not putting the girls down because I've done it, but they can go help their grandma on Section A. with her bills that they know is overdue, then to be throwing some money at you. So you think you finna just get that money free and easily how it used to be back in the day? You just gotta be pretty, have a good little flow with you, and be able to dance and get that money. Yeah, it may be a good, I would say, like a good 30% chance that you still may have some wiggle room to just be cute and just get by. It ain't like that no more. They want you to work for that money. They gonna have you work for that money. They gonna have you doing them extras for that money. What time you leaving the club? Can you come to this B&B with me? That is not sweet no more. It's never been sweet, but it's definitely not sweet now because times is hard. Because you're gonna be losing more than what you're getting. Y'all gotta understand, it's a house fee. You ain't going to nobody club to dance for free and then make some money for free. You gotta pay them. So imagine you going to somebody's club to work 6 p.m. You paying $60 to $70 to get in and you ain't make a dime back. I know. I've done it. And this is back in 2022. Well, times wasn't as hard as it is right now. Baby, I wouldn't dare step foot in nobody's club again. I learned my lesson. You got 5 girls working together for one night in the club, bringing a celebrity, bringing an artist, a rapper, whoever, bringing a doughboy. Doughboy come in there and throw $2 grand for $1,000 back. Do the math on 5 girls and $1 grand to split. Y'all been in his section all night? Do the math on that. It really not adding.
Yeah, basically these girls now have, danced for some sort of finance guy because he's in there in town for just one night and shared and made a comment, and now they know how to trade stocks. Yeah, I will trust this person for financial advice. Yeah, right.
Strippers say a market crash is guaranteed because the strip clubs are suddenly empty. This article is a few months old, but I had to share it because it is hilarious. These strippers on Twitter were talking about how they can predict the market trends and forecasts way better than any finance bro. Basically, people were making a lot more money during COVID when it was unemployment, stimulus checks, and now gas is higher, rent is higher, and there's layoffs, so less people are going to the strip clubs.
Guys, do not fall for it. Just say no thanks. Just say no thanks. Women absolutely either hate it or they absolutely love you. Just say no thanks.
Because a man that provides for a stripper, there's a stupidity in that. Because you know this woman's transactional and yet you're giving her money, she can't respect you. But the man she has to pay for, whether he's like a bouncer that's on half her wage or he's just a personal trainer that she has to cover the rent for, she's more likely to fall in love with him. Because at least he's not stupid enough to financially invest in me. And a part of her unconsciously respects him more than the CEO that's going to buy you a house and a Range Rover because she's like, you're so stupid.
I would say the strategy to making more money is selling out your soul and your future. There you go. That's all you got to do.
Hey everyone, Lilith here, talking about your day-to-day stripper stuff. So I just want to talk about how everyone's like, oh my god, strippers make so much money. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes it's not true. How much money you make as a stripper doesn't really depend on how good you look, how well you dance, anything like that. I'm not gonna lie and say it doesn't matter or help, but the girl who looks good versus the girl who talks to a lot of guys is gonna make way less than the girl who talks to a lot of guys in one night. So you gotta have a strategy. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know who you're gonna talk to. You can't sit around and be pretty. You gotta hustle the whole time. If you don't, you might not even make minimum wage. You might not even come out with anything. You might do your tip out, you might pay your house fee and then end up with nothing at the end of the night if you don't have a strategy, ultimately.
I'm outside of my work, debating whether or not I should go up to my boss and just quit my job. Why? Because I don't feel like I'm making enough money. I feel like I'm really broke. Like, I can barely pay my bills, my credit's horrible. And so I've been seeing a lot of TikToks where obviously the scrippers are making a lot of money, okay? And yes, I do have some jelly rolls. And yes, I do look like a tied up ham hock. But beside the point, I can probably make a few more pennies than I make here.
You can't make this.
Okay? Or I can just go sell drugs. I don't know. I'm debating. There needs to be a way where we can make more money. Okay? Because I would like to get my hair and my nails done.
I'm a stripper. At least I was last month. It's been a couple weeks since I've been to the club. I am having a really hard time going back. Yes, I ran out of all my money. No, I don't have savings.
Why am I not surprised?
Will you see me in the club today? No. Is my makeup ready as if I am going? Yes. I just think I'm experiencing burnout, which I don't know how that's possible because I haven't been to the club in weeks. I just can't seem to get there. I get ready, do my hair, do my makeup, but I just don't want to go.
No lie, the mental burnout anguish that I'm seeing from all you all you women in this video is just mind-blowing. And y'all still continue to put yourself through pain. If you really don't like doing something, why are you continuing to do it, guys? Let's just be honest. My advice, man, go do something that makes you feel happy, all right? These ladies are bound for nothing because there's literally jobs out there. I just don't understand why they can't do it. One, she can't even make a savings account. She's not even working as much. She'll probably have more and have a savings if she literally got her off her ass and go work and go clock in. As simple as that.
Oh God, I can't spend eternity here. This place.
Get ready with me while I tell you how I'm gonna go bankrupt at 26 years old. I also just got my ear pierced 4 times, so that's the best I'm gonna get my headband. So my whole shtick is to be like the nice stripper, you know? The stripper that everybody sees as a friend. While that benefits me greatly in most scenarios, a lot of the times, and I mean a lot of the times, it makes it very hard for me to keep long-term regulars. I mean, like, it's hard for me to keep a regular more than a few months. I've never kept a regular for even like a year. So while being the nice stripper initially works very well with me and customers, what starts to happen is over time, those customers start to develop feelings and that I am developing feelings. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you've ever been nice to somebody before and they take that as flirtatiousness. That is literally my job, to be nice to people and toss as flirty and sell this fantasy. What keeps happening to me is these customers who keep asking me to hang out outside of work and I'm like, no babe, this is my job. And then they're like, well, I thought you really liked me. Like, you were being so nice to me. I thought you liked me. And when you've gotten to that stage with a customer, you can pretty much just expect that they're not going to be spending that much money on you anymore because at that point they were only spending money on you because they thought you had feelings for them. I feel like the feelings are not being reciprocated. You could say goodbye to that. I love to say that I'm not all about money and that I show up because I love my job, but my job is a job. I'm not going to show up and work for free. And while there's very many perks to my job, I love a lot of things about my job, I'm not going to show up and work for free, no matter what kind of job it is. And that's just what's about being the friendly and personable dancer. People automatically think that since I'm so nice to them and I'm so friendly, that it completely discounts that I'm there to do a job and expect things from me for free and completely take advantage of my niceness. As much as I'd love to be that dancer who is just all about her money, shows up, makes her bag, hustles, customers outside of doing dances, I've never been that person. I love doing small talk. I'm like everybody's best friend. While it's also coming back to bite me in the Anyway, the biggest lesson that I've learned is I'm not going to make any money by being nice to everybody, but by being too nice to everybody, I'm also going to lose out on money. Dramatic, and I haven't gone bankrupt yet, but I will if everybody keeps catching feelings and stops coming to see me at the club because they think I also have feelings for them. Unfortunately, my toxic trait is I'm nice to a fault. I'll be nice to you no matter what, but the thing is, in this economy, I'm gonna have to start charging y'all for being nice. It's gonna have to. Moral of the story is you're allowed to catch feelings, but your feelings don't pay my bills. So
the worst thing about being a stripper is like the part of you having to get ready for work, like thinking about actually having to go. Oh my god, I do not want to go home. I don't want to go.
All right, guys, nonetheless, man, this type of stuff is not going to last long for these females. Let's just put it like that. Even I've seen a video the other day of Ice Spice, the female rapper. She went ahead and was just dancing on stage, and she turned around and started twerking. And the look in her face was she was so burnt out and felt disgusting and tired, looking like she didn't even want to continue doing that. But that's what you put all your money and your faith and everything in, and this is what it comes down to. So you got to continue to do it until it runs out. So guys, I appreciate you for watching. Y'all please like the video and sub, and I'll see you on the next one.